Hey everyone, this is Patrick. Welcome to another edition of Heavy Therapy. It is time to do another collection update. Got some mostly I have vinyl to show you. I have one CD to show you. These releases, mostly newer releases, including a couple of releases that just came out here when I'm recording this in June 2024. Alright, so let's begin with a classic band but a newer album. This is Hate Eternal with From Desolate Sands. This was out in 2018 on Season of Mist. Good old not Adam Burke. Who is the cover artist here? I want to say Adam Burke, but then that makes me hesitate. Let's see who the cover art here is. Yeah, Elleran Cantor. That's what I meant. I get those two sometimes confused. So another great Elleran Cantor album art. Sort of a neoclassical academic style. Always cool to see. So yeah, Hate Eternal. At this point, the only original member left is Eric Rutan, of course, on guitars, vocals, and production. Eric Rutan is one of my favorite guitarists in death metal, and I guess you can't really consider him underrated, because most people who are into death metal rate Eric Rutan quite high. But casual conversations, you're just not gonna hear about him as much as you should, in my opinion. A lot of bands a lot of guitar riffing style they try to take from Eric Rutan, in my opinion. But this 2018 release is right up there with some of their best stuff, in my opinion. Let's see. Yeah, I really like the first three songs a lot, and then I like Dark Age of Ruin quite a bit. The last track is an instrumental. Maybe it wasn't absolutely necessary, but happy to pick up this Hate Eternal album. On this album, you get 9 tracks, about 39 minutes of music. You have JJ on bass and Hannes on drums on that release. So I found this in one of my local stores. Had to pick it up. Good release there from Hate Eternal. Okay, this was a recent birthday gift that I received. So this is Artificial Brain with their self-titled release, Artificial Brain, out in 2022. This was out on Profound Lore Records. There's the back cover. Artificial Brain, so either you love him or you hate him, and that's going to be because of Will Smith's vocal style. But Artificial Brain play a technical style of death metal. It's very dissonant, very atmospheric. The drum work reminds me it's a bit jazz influenced at times, in my opinion. But yeah, the vocals are going to be that Demolic, croaking style vocals. Not exclusively, but for the most part. So you get Will Smith here on vocals. You get Dan on guitar, John on guitar, Oleg on guitar. Who's this? Sam on bass and keyboards, and Keith on drums. Keith is no longer in the band. Will Smith is no longer in the band after this release, so I am curious to hear what they're going to sound like. But so for fans of other Will Smith projects, actually, so Reeking Aura, Afterbirth. I also hear a bit some Gyrea in here, but Golgotha Remains, maybe. If you like dissonant death metal, that's quite technical, but not exactly tech death, so to speak. Yeah, just really good album. They give you a full album experience here. 10 tracks, 45 minutes of music. This cover artist is Adam Burke. And yeah, great pickup. I don't remember if the variant is worth showing. I think it's a all black vinyl. They do give you the lyrics and the credits. And yeah, happy to receive this release recently. Up next, let's go for a blockbuster of a release, an instant classic, and definitely a contender for album of the year so far. This is the one and only Ulcerate with Cutting the Throat of God. Great packaging here, embossed. It's a 2 LP. And this is a band from New Zealand. They've actually been around since 2002, I believe. This is their 7th full-length album. You have Paul Kelland on bass and vocals, Michael on guitar, and then Jamie St. Marat on drums. One of the best extreme metal bands going. And yeah, this might be my favorite Ulcerate release. To me, this is a 10 out of 10 album. It gets better after every listen. Every track is better than the track before it, in my opinion. All of them stand out. So I've either seen people that share my sentiments toward this album, 10 out of 10, perfect album, album of the year, or I see some people say, it's Ulcerate, they're great, but we've heard this before. So I think this is basically 7 of their best songs that they've ever written. It combines the Destroyers of All era with their last 2020 album. Perfect blend of just sort of dense, heavy, extreme blast beat filled death metal with just great, more ambient, slower, moody sections. Everything about this is great to me. And yeah, this is going to be hard to beat for this year. 7 tracks, 58 minutes of music out on Deborah Morty Productions. Like I said, again, this band is from New Zealand. They're a 3-piece, one of the best extreme metal drummers, one of the best extreme metal bands out there, in my opinion. Death metal, post-death metal, quite technical, quite dissonant. No one quite does that exact sound as Ulcerate, and this album again is a bit more melodic, has a bit more groove in terms of a bit more repetition in terms of their songwriting style. So there's some earworms on this album, surprisingly for some people, but just a great mix of what Ulcerate has come to give us, and I think quite possibly their best release and a 10 out of 10 album. Pretty cool smoky translucent red here, really great pressing, cool variant. And yeah, that was Ulcerate. Next up, another band from Deborah Morty Productions, another album from this year. This is Selbst with Despondency chord progressions, 7 tracks, 44 minutes. Polarizing cover art once again. The band Atrabilis and Selbst put out their album this year, and they both have a very similar style of artwork. For Selbst, the person behind Selbst, which I think is the guy named Jonathan, he says the artwork is supposed to sort of depict being born and dying. So the entire cycle of life here is you see a newborn, and then you see sort of tree roots, nature sort of reclaiming the elements at the end of all this thing that we call life. So yeah, Selbst play in my opinion, they kind of sound French, but the project is based out of Chile, and it was originally based out of Venezuela. So I don't hear a lot of South American, aggressive sarcophago style of black metal. I hear more of that French style, maybe Portuguese style, Greek style. Beautiful guitar work. That's what hooked me for this album. For fans of Gaia, dissonant black metal, behemoth, Die Dark and Shade, maybe. Not quite as great as Die Dark and Shade, but really solid release. I like this very much. One of my favorite black metal projects from 2024 so far. This is the 3rd LP from Selbst. I haven't heard their previous 2, so if anybody has in the comments, let me know if it's as good as this one, or if it's better or worse. Let me show you the variant for this one. There you go. Yeah, very cool variant here. Yeah, just another great release from 2024, and I was happy to pick that up when I picked up the new Ulcerate. Okay, so last but not least, a hardcore album, metalcore album. This is The Red Chord with Fused Together in Revolving Doors. This was their debut full length. It came out in 2002 on Robotic Empire. It is now it's been issued on first time ever on vinyl by Death Black Market, which is distributed by Death Wish, and yeah, not too many hardcore / metalcore bands and albums that I am drawn to, but the Red Chord stand out. So yeah, it's almost death metal, but it does have some hardcore influence. There are some breakdowns on here. I would not call this deathcore at all, though. Think of the Dillinger Escape Plan, maybe. Think of Converge. But you can hear that they are definitely influenced by death metal. Just Job for a Cowboy's new album from this year, from 2024. You might like this album if you like that new Job for a Cowboy album. But yeah, just a killer hardcore release. I was happy to see it reissued, or sort of put out on vinyl for the first time, because it came out in 2002, which is a weird time for vinyl releases. I believe that's a newer photo of the band. Could be wrong. Oh yeah, just bit chaotic, melodic at times, but quite noisy and chaotic. Well written, metallic hardcore. I believe this band is based out of Boston. They recently have played some shows. I think they are considered active now, so we will see if we will get a new release from them, but I'm not sure. Those are the albums I have to show today. Thanks for watching. See you all in the comment section. And for those of you who haven't seen it yet, I was recently a guest on the great Heavy Metallurgy channel and program, which they have on Friday nights. We did a What's Been Spinning episode. It was me, Marty from Heavy Metallurgy, Alan from Let's Talk Metal, and Rick from The Dreadful Minutes. We showed a bunch of stuff that we've been spinning. It was really fun. There should be a image right now of the video, but I will have a link in the description and show notes as well. But yeah, thanks everybody who turned out there. Thanks for following and liking my content. It means a lot. See you all in the comment section. Have some great content coming up soon, and you all have a good day. And remember to stay heavy. Bye.